Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how I made this brick wall scene in Houdini 20.5 using Copernicus. Let's get started. I will come back to the Solaris network at the end of the video, but let's go into the maps and check how these maps are made. So it may look like a big network, but it's very simple thing. It's just copy pasting few things here and there. So let's start from the bricks itself. So if you check the wall, there are two different kind of stones here. There is bricks in here and there are some stones here. If I switch to XPU, yeah, as you can see, you have these bricks and then you have this bigger rocks here. So there are two types of stones. So that's what you can see here. So this one is just the bricks. So I started with this reference image. It has this bricks and the stones here. So I wanted the brick pattern to be something similar to this one. So I started with tile pattern. You can see I have adjusted few settings here to get the look I wanted. I didn't research about that, but I just played around with the different pattern types and come up with this one, which is pretty much close to this. You can see these horizontal bricks here, the long ones, and then the bricks rotated in the other way so that it looks smaller here. So which is similar to this one. So it's almost similar. So I think this would be good to start with. And then here I just have a remap so that I can adjust the height of the bricks later on. So after that I made a distort here. So the bricks are not perfect shaped, but it has some randomness like this one. Uh, if you check this one, it's not pretty straight, it's slightly curved. So that's the kind of effect I'm going for. So using the fractal noise in the UV mode and setting the center to 0, I can push whatever image here to different directions. So that's exactly what the distort is doing. So if I turn off and on, you can clearly see the effect of the distort here. And then I'm using blur node to smooth out the edges here. So after that I'm using some fractal noise again and subtracting it from the original brick pattern, so that gives me the brick. So this is the image. Let's preview how that looks as a height map. If I click this button here, you can see this just appears as a flat plane. That's because I haven't enabled this here. So by default that will be disabled. You need to click this button to preview this. And if you see the wireframe, you can just remove that by going here, or you can press Shift W to turn on and off the wireframe. So here you can see this is how the brick looks. If I disable the subtract, so this just adds the noise a little bit. So if you check this, yeah, previously this was completely flat, and then once I add this fractal noise, subtracted this fractal noise, this gives you a bit more natural looking bricks. So that is the bricks part. Then let's move on to the rocks. So if you check the reference, you have these bigger rocks here. That's exactly what I was doing in this area. So again I started with the tile pattern. This time I have randomized a lot in the tile pattern node itself. So there are a lot of parameters to randomize. So as you can see, you can rotate them randomly, you can scale them randomly, yeah, like this. So you can play around with the tile pattern node to match something similar to your reference. And then the same thing here, I'm just remapping and just distorting using the fractal noise to make the edges more distorted instead of having it really straight. And again here I'm using another fractal noise and just mixing it with the previous brick pattern. And from here I'm just blurring, and then I'm doing some streak blur so that it creates the blur in this particular direction around the brick. If I connect the preview material here, you can clearly see what it's doing. I'm just taking the slope direction of that particular pattern and then using that as a direction to blur the texture so that it blurs around the brick outwards for each brick, something like this. So if I disable this, you can see that it's not what we are after. So this has very straight edges, but if you use the streak blur, it makes the stones a bit more natural. That's done. It's just a null. I'm just using it to organize the graph. Yeah, so we have this rocks and we have this bricks. So let's combine this together with the blend node. So that's what I'm doing here. So if I check the image, so the rocks and the bricks are blended together, but with a mask here. So I have a mask input here. I created this mask using the position ramp. So this position ramp will give -1 to +1 in the height and -1 to +1 in the x direction as well. So we are taking only the y direction here. You can see I picked the green channel, so that's what giving you the height information, and then I'm remapping it. I have some controls over the fall off in this remap, and then I'm just using the distort node to distort the edge a little bit. Otherwise it will look very straight and it won't look natural. And here once I blend it, it looks like this. So I'm using this mask to blend between the brick and the stone. So if I preview that, it looks like this. So we have the bricks on top and the rocks on the bottom, and here this is the cement kind of thing in the gap. You can see there are some binding material applied all over around the rocks here. It's not around the bricks, but you can clearly see it's around the rocks everywhere. So that's what I'm building here. So I just remapped this. So the original was looking like this. I just remapped it to just invert it. You can really use the invert node, but this has more controls. And then I'm eroding it so that it grows a little bit, and then again distorting again and remapping it so that I have some white values here. So if I connect the preview material here to the height, so you can see this gives you this kind of cement binding effect around the pattern. So previously, if you check, this is the pattern, and now since I have inverted, I got this gaps to be raised. That's exactly what's happening here. Yeah, and I'm just mixing it again with the main branch. So you can see I'm building a main branch in horizontal line and then adding any extra things on top of the main branch. So that's how I like to work in Copernicus. uh, yeah, so here I'm adding more noise in here just to have some randomness, and then using the blend node I'm just again blending it with the original pipe here, original material here. So this was the height map which we created previously, and then we are blending this map on top of this map, so we get something like this. This is before and this is after. So if you check the preview material, you can clearly see this added that kind of that kind of a cement on the creases everywhere, on the gaps everywhere. So this looks really nice. So this is before and after. So I didn't add all the way until the end, because you can see this has gaps at the end. It has the cement only on the top. So I was trying to recreate that same effect here. So the rocks on the bottom has more gaps, but rocks on the top has more cement on it. Yeah. So this is also this mask is also using the same method. I took the position map and then took the green channel out of it and remapping it to where I want the cement to be white and other areas to be black, and distorting it and then blending it together with the actual material. So I'm using it as a mask to blend between the cement and the main material. So this is the result. And once this is done, I think after that it's just adding more noises and breakups everywhere. So I added some like a paint kind of effect on top. So you can see this is what I'm looking for. You can see in the reference image the white color area, kind of a cement applied on top of the bricks. So that's exactly what's happening here as well. So I just added some noise patterns, and I'm subtracting again some noise pattern to get this really hard edges in some places and the soft edges in some places. And then I'm using the same to add on top of everything here. So that gives you that really nice effect of this kind of a cement applied on top of brick effect. So that's looking really nice. After that, I'm adding more noises here again. So if I preview this one, yeah, this is this hard kind of edge in everywhere. So that's what I'm trying to replicate. This is on top of the cement layer which I just added. After that, I'm adding more noise all over everywhere. This is like a really small noise which I added on top of everything, not only the brick layer but on everywhere. You can see even the rocks are getting affected by this noise. So this is just a simple fractal noise, just added it on top of everything. So that's how I built the height map, mono to RGB. So this node will take black and white image and then convert it into a color. I'll just connect it to base color so that we can preview it a little bit better. So yeah, you can see these hard edges similar to this one and this one, and you can see soft transitions here like these guys. So everything is pretty much similar. So I'm happy with the height map at this point. And then I use this mono to RGB to color. You can just set your colors here, whatever color you may like. But I was trying to replicate the reference. So if I go here, this is the height map. So you can see the whole material is building the height map, and only at the end I just used the height map to extract the color information from it. It could be done in a little bit different way, but this is just for the sake of simplicity I use this method. This is purely just remapping the color using the height map, but it can be done in more advanced and like more creative ways than this one. So here, yeah, as I showed you to this mono to RGB, the same thing I have used, but with some color choices. I just created more variations and like more colors in the ramp. So that gives me the color. That gives me the color, base color. So and then I'm using the remap SOP, remap cop again to remap this height map to the roughness map. So I'm connecting this to the roughness slot, and here you can see this is directly the height map, which is not even remap, just connecting it to the height input here. So that gives me this brick wall. This looks really cool, but then I wanted to apply this texture to an object. So that's what I have created in the stage, in the lobs. So this is the entire corpse network, and if you notice clearly, I have some nulls at the end, so which has the names base, rough, and height. This is what we are going to refer in our actual material outside. This is just preview material which are we are visualizing in the Copernicus network. So to apply this material, you will need to to apply these maps, you will need to refer to these nulls in the material itself. Now let's see how I apply the maps on this particular mesh I created. So this is a simple box mesh I created in the SOPs network and then just imported using the scene import lob. Yeah, this is the stage context. So I imported the geometry and the camera from the SOPs. So if I look at the camera, it's just a turntable camera, the classic thing. And here I created this quick material. So if you type quick material, quick surface material, so this is the node you will get. So this is exactly what this node is. And using this op colon syntax, I just copy pasted this path of the null. I copied this and then pasted it here with op and the colon. So this will bring the map from the cop network and apply it to the map wherever you are applying. In this case, I'm applying it to the color map, the base color. I use the same method to apply the roughness map and the height map here. So this chsop maps copnet is just an expression that links to this the cop texture network parameter here. So that will that way it's a little bit more procedural. Instead of just directly copying the path from the maps, this will be more procedural. So let's say I have a different maps here. Let's say this is a different material. So what we can do is we can just change this to maps 1. So all the materials will now get applied from this copnet. So that's why this syntax is used here. By default, if you press this, so if you press this button, this will give you that particular expression. You don't have to memorize that. It will create this material for this copnet for your material, and then just linked it to this parameter, whichever parameter you're clicking on. And one more thing to note here is if you choose geometry spreadsheet, it opens the scene graph tree in the LOPS network. So that's handy as well. So if you check here, we have a camera and the geo. And if you check here, it creates a new material, which is called my shader based on the name of the node. So this is the material it created with the maps applied from here. So I'll switch back to the previous maps here. Yeah. So this is the material. So even this created the material, it's not applied on the mesh yet. It's just there in the scene, but it's not applied. So that's what this material linker is doing. So if you drop a material linker, so this will be empty for on the first time when you drop it. So what you can do is you can just drag this shader and apply it to any geometry or anything. Just drag and drop, that's it. It gets applied. This makes life so much easier. Previously you have to create a material library, assign it, drag and drop the object you want, and then drag and drop the material you want, all those things. But this is like more easy way to apply the materials. So this is really nice. So once I applied, just once I link that, it get applied to the object. So that's it. That's how you apply the um, shader to your object. So after that, I created another grid object here. So you can see that is the sand kind of thing which is accumulated around the wall. So for that, I created a grid, and the same method. I used the quick surface material and just press this button to create this cop network. And here I have a few more maps. This is like very similar to the previous one, just using the fractal noise to create a height. So, and here I use the ramp to create concentric circle with some fall off, and added distort to this so that it gets more uneven, and then multiplying it with more noise. And yeah, this goes into the opacity of the material, this goes into the height of the material, and then this is the base color and roughness. So that's how it uh, so that's how I created this particular material. So that gives you this kind of look, so which is combined with the actual wall, the pillar. And then here I created some like lighting here that gives you this look. So if I disable this, so this is just a plain thing, and then I added the lights here. So here I added more dicing quality and adjusted the minimum and maximum dicing. This is to improve the quality of the displacement. Right now, like until now we were looking at the viewport displacement, but now once you switch this to Karma XPU, you will see the actual displacement in the render time. So that gives you really nice result like this. So this is how I made this wall texture in Copernicus. Hope you like the video. Consider subscribing. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time.